welcome back to Brody Talks Hockey. Today we have a very special guest who dominated in the BCHL, where he won Rookie of the Year, as well as the Brett Hull Trophy, which is awarded to the top scorer. He then was a first-round draft pick for the Pittsburgh Penguins, where he was an absolute beast on the ice, resulting in a Stanley Cup championship in 2016. So excited to have such a hockey legend on the pod. Please welcome the GOAT himself, Beau Bennett.
Guys, how are you doing?
Good. I'm doing amazing. I just want to say, like I said earlier, thank you so much again. It means so much to me to have you on.
Yeah, brother. If I can get that intro everywhere I go, I'd join no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you a little bit of info about how the interviews usually work. Usually start it with a couple career-based questions, take it to some off-ice stuff, and then we finish it with a game that I call rapid fire. And you're going to have a minute to answer a bunch of random questions, some hockey, some history, some movies, a bunch of random stuff. And yeah, we'll explain it more when we get into it. But yeah, just to start it off, I wanted to dive right into your youth hockey experience. I know you're from California. Could you tell me a little bit about that and how it might differ from Minnesota?
Yeah, California was weird growing up because we were mainly roller guys. I started in roller from 3 all the way up till 8, and then I made a little bit of a transition over to ice hockey. Just because there wasn't many hockey rinks at the time. I mean, I was in 91. Gretzky came, I think it was in 89 to the Kings. So it started that influx of kids wanting to play ice hockey because it was the new cool thing to do. But like my first roller hockey tournament was was at the Great Western Forum in the parking lot. And they said if you come play in the roller tournament, you get tickets to the game at night. So that was kind of how I garnered interest in the sport of ice hockey. And then I played a bunch of sports, soccer, baseball, but mainly roller hockey. And then as I grew up, I just kind of saw that there was no real future in roller, or that there wasn't one for me. And by 14 or 15, I kind of put roller by the wayside and committed fully to ice hockey, and it ended up working out. And it was an awesome experience. I would always tell kids though, be well rounded, try different sports, see what you like, kind of learn different things, different skill sets. And I think that kind of helped me get to where I was, that the fact that I wasn't one dimensional.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not too familiar with roller hockey. Could you tell me a little bit about that? And do you have to like wear like pads and stuff for that as well?
Yeah, when I got reintroduced to it, so growing up, it was no pads. It was basically just knee pads, elbow pads, gloves, rollerblades, and a helmet. So there's no hitting. It's 4-on-4, no offsides, no icing. It's like a true puck possession game, just trying to kind of move guys around the ice to get opportunities, 2-on-1s, whether it be a 2-on-1 or a breakaway or whatnot. So it's a game of chess out there. You're just trying to hold on the puck. I remember just growing up, like trying to transition from ice where it's all north south, trying to get to the net, and then in roller, like you might be going to the net, but a little bit of pressure on your shoulder, and you just might turn it back and fire it back to your goalie just to reset. And it's almost like soccer in that way, kind of reset, stretch the defense out a little bit, and try to find opportunities that way. It was great for me. It kind of softens your hands, but it kind of ruins your skating. So I think that's where it hurt me in the ice game. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I met a lot of my best friends through roller hockey. Could be eating cheeseburgers like 2 minutes before the game and just go out there and play a championship game. So it was very relaxed in that way. And that's kind of how the Californians got that relaxed, kind of lazy demeanor about them. It's not that we're lazy, it's just kind of that's what we grew to know growing up. Like you could just be in your gear all day, not even warm up, and just go play for the drop of the puck.
Definitely. And then when did you say was your first time putting on like real hockey skates?
I saw my first pair of roller skates was 3, and then my first pair to ice, I think I would do public skate when I was like 7 or 8. um, and then just learning how to stop at like the local rink. There wasn't many rinks growing up, so finding ice and getting out there. My parents would we just wanted to skate around and see if we liked it. Then I was 8 years old and I played for the El Segundo regions, and I started to like ice hockey. Just kind of developed. I liked that they were so different from each other. You know, get a taste of both. Some days I'd go play roller games in the morning to an ice game, back to roller, back to ice, and it was just funny the differentials from playing both sports at the same time, but trying to keep your head on straight for what you're supposed to do when you're out there. So when I was 8, I didn't really fully transition to ice until I was like 13, 14, and just kind of nixed roller out of my life, just because it got too hard. Like the game got so much more intense that it wasn't like possible to play 4 or 5 games in a day. So I just had to put it by the wayside and focus on one thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that you were saying, and I'm kind of familiar with California not having the most hockey arenas. So what was your experience like traveling around during that time? And did you have any cool stories that kind of like stood out to you?
Uh, Honestly, it was awesome. I loved traveling because I was a private school kid, so my teachers were very they worked with me a lot. I mean, I went to middle school and elementary school with a class of about 13 or 14 people. Like I remember my best story from growing up from just traveling is I was playing for nationals. I think this is '06, and I was 14. I had to have been a Bantam AAA. We're in Rochester. Um, I missed a week of school just trying to focus on hockey, and I just made a deal with all my teachers like, hey, if we go win a national championship, can you just give me A's on everything? And ended up winning and came back, no worries, and got A's on everything because I mean, California, they're like, there's no way you're gonna go beat the Detroits, the Minnesotas of the world, and came back with an Natty and a bunch of A's.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane that they actually followed through on that. I'd be like,
Yeah.
there's no way they're gonna actually.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, hey, like you guys promised me, and they're like, you're right. Granted, I was a pretty good student up to that point, so it was almost like creating a little bit less work for them, so they wouldn't have to like stay afterwards to see me take tests or whatnot. So it ended up being a fun story.
That's awesome. And then that leads me into going into the BCHL where you were with the Penticton V's. We've had a couple of people on the pod who played for Penticton. But could you tell us a little bit about that experience and how you even ended up over there?
Yeah, so I was drafted in the futures draft for Tri-City Storm in the USHL. I was protected by the Calgary Hitmen in the WHL, and then Fred Harbinson in the BCHL came to me and he's like, we want you to play for our team. But at that time, BCHL was I didn't really know anyone who had went and played up there, so I was kind of solely focused on USHL and WHL. Um, I didn't really like the USHL route. I had heard mixed things up to that point. I had visited the city. It wasn't really against that. I was just kind of coming from California, wanted to do something a little bit um, out of the realm of what's normal for us. So I told my parents, hey, I want to go to the WHL. And my dad just put it, hey, you're not 18 yet. You can't make a decision that's gonna eliminate some options for you, like eliminating college option. I could have played juniors and still gone to the WHL once I turned 18, but under his roof, it was his rules, and I really respected him for that because it gave me a little clarity. And I guess Fred had called my parents and said, hey, what can I do to like lock this down? And I didn't even know this, and they go, hey, it's his journey. Like I don't know, like he just doesn't want to come to the Penticton. And then me and my buddy David were actually we were in bodyboarding in Huntington Beach that morning, and we were just went and ate breakfast. I'm like, screw it, like I'm just gonna do something that no one thinks I'm gonna do. Called up Fred, so told Fred before I even told my parents, and I was like, hey Fred, I'm gonna come to the BCHL and make it work. And he was like, was kind of in disbelief that I like decided that, because leading up to that point, he's like, there's no way he's coming. And then the next thing I was just like, as cliche as it sounds, I was in the water. I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't need to do the route that everyone else has done up to this point. I want to do something different. Ended up being one of the best years of my life. Met some of my best friends, and we had a great team, so it worked out.
That's awesome. That's a super cool story. I was gonna ask you, I know that the Canucks Stadium is kind of close to Penticton. Did you ever get to go see a game when you were there?
No, I mean my first Canucks experience was playing when I was in Pittsburgh. In Penticton, that season was so crazy because I had just gone from youth hockey, 17 years old, and like the only thing I've ever known, and into Western Canada with a roommate, Ben Sexton. He's now assistant coach at Belleville for the Belleville Senators. And it was just such a new experience. Got a set of billets, had to move to a different set of billets about a month in. Played the start of that season, went to World Junior A Challenge, went to a prospects tournament in, I think, like Flin Flon, Manitoba. I don't even remember. Then all of a sudden it's Christmas. So I go home for Christmas, enjoy seeing my buddies and like having a good time and come back from that. And now this NHL attention started happening. So as fun as it was, I didn't really get to enjoy that year, which was like looking back on it, like I didn't understand how cool of a place Penticton was, how awesome the people were, because it was such a blur. But um, definitely, if any junior players want to go play junior A, that's the spot to be.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like you had your fair share of stuff on your hands, though. You're super
Crazy.
busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I know that you ended up going to Denver. How did they end up reaching out to you? And were there any other options that you had going into like the college decision process?
Yeah, so Denver was one of the first people who I built a relationship with. I was still like kind of finding my game. Like when I was 16, 17, I had a good USA camp and it kind of put me on the map a little bit. I also grew a ton. I think I had like 5 inches in one summer, and that really helped my game because I was more of a methodical player out there, which doesn't really work if you're 5'6". So they had built a relationship. CC had built a relationship with me, but I had always had my heart set on BC, but they had never reached out, or like I even like expressed interest and they're like, no, no. And then I ended up going to the BCHL and having like an awesome like start. And then they offered me, and then I just back to like my BCHL story. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go off the map. I'm not gonna commit to something just because I should. So I decided to stay closer to home, keep it between CC and DU. I had some friends that went to DU, and ended up being an awesome spot for me. And funny story about DU and Californians is they've had like California guys roll through there, and it was Gabe Gauthier and then Rhett Rockshani, and then it was me right after, and we all wear number 9, sat at the same stall as all the California kids. It was their thing, so it was kind of
Wow.
a fun thing to be intertwined like that. I felt really at home, and my both my brothers went there. We all lived in the same house, and it was like my parents just sold the house too, so it served us for over a decade, which is insane.
Wow, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
super cool about like the whole number 9 thing and getting to be in that same rotation and stuff. That's
Yeah,
super.
I think Gabe Levin wore it after me, and then I'm not sure who wore it after him, but it was a California connection that you just kind of overtook the number 9, and then because I wanted a different number, and they're like, nah, you have to take number 9.
Oh, I
All
was
right.
gonna, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna say, like, were you all just big number 9 fans, or were they just
Oh,
like
I,
forcing?
I didn't really care. I actually wanted 78. I've always liked 78. Um, it's what I wore in Penticton. It's what I wore the year before Penticton. It was kind of same thing. Going back to all these decisions I'm making, it's a number that no one wears. It's just kind
Yeah,
of doing something a little different, a little off the cusp. And they said no way. Especially they don't do high numbers there. I don't know if that's still the same case.
wow.
It was like 1 through 30. And then Rhett graduated the year I came in, and then I took over 9.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think that's super true though about the whole picking like unique numbers. I mean, obviously you grow up loving numbers because of certain players you like, but you kind of want to make your own name for yourself and have that same like connection with kids growing up being like, oh, I want to wear Beau's number and stuff like that.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly my thought process. It's like you can't compare me to anyone because no one was wearing 78. I don't know. I think a couple guys wear it now. I think Brody and Ferraro on San Jose, but other than that, I haven't seen many guys wear it over the years.
No, that's a slept on number. I
Yeah.
actually don't want to lie. Well, anything those like 70s to like, I don't know, high 90s is just like prime time for me.
Yeah, so I think they keep you away from that because they don't want to come off as cocky, but 78 still low enough where it's kind of can be like, all right, well, it's a random number, or it's like a rookie number. Sometimes you get that if you come into rookie camp, they just give you a random number like 78.
Yeah, for sure. But that leads me into asking you about your draft day experience. How was that like? And did it live up to expectations in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly the whole year was such a blur. I didn't even think anything of it. Draft ended up being in LA. Had so many friends and family there. My agent had told me like, hey, you can go like anywhere from like 6 to 46, like, and I had had like I had had an unreal finish to the season, and then I injured my wrist, and then my playoffs it was still okay, but it just wasn't what I was keeping up with in the regular season. So I was kind of a little bit not nervous, I just a little bit unknown, and then I ended up hearing my name called at 20, which was like to go to Pittsburgh, such a cool organization with like guys like Sid, Letang, Fleury, and they were just already in the running for Stanley Cups year in and year out. So it was kind of awesome to go to an organization and just kind of fit in and as opposed to try to build something new.
For sure. Yeah. And then you end up winning a Stanley Cup in Pittsburgh. Could you tell me about that experience? I mean, it's everything you dream of as a kid, hoisting the cup. Definitely had to be one of the best moments of your life.
Yeah, it was an unreal. It was the most bittersweet year of my entire life because I had a good start to the season, and then I think in December we just switched coaches from Johnston to Sullivan. And my first game, I got hit by Oshie, and my shoulder's still like mangled from that. Um,
Holy shit.
yeah, so that
Oh
whole
my
thing
God.
happened, um, and then coming out of it, I came back a little too early. It was a little bit not misdiagnosed, but they just really hadn't seen like something like that severe without like breaking your collarbone. So first game back or one of the first games back, I tried to hit someone, my shoulder tears through even more stuff that it's not supposed to tear through. Kind of just supporting the team, being around the team through playoffs, kind of didn't really expect to get in the lineup at all because I was not healthy. I was probably 50% at that point. But I wanted to just be a friend to the guys, basically a fan of the team with the best seat in the house. And lifting the cup was awesome, but it is like it's a weird experience because you didn't really do anything to help the boys other than leading up to that point, maybe the years prior or whatnot. But just to be around the guys and then bringing it home was like the best feeling. Like bringing it home to California was awesome because I got everyone together that I've ever played with basically and or coached me, and just as like an ode to them, like, hey, like you guys are all a part of this. Thanks for getting me to that point to even be able to be on the ice. Would have loved to have been out there playing, but hindsight's 2020. It worked out for the best.
Yeah, yeah, it's obviously a grind, and I know that you might not think that even though you didn't play as much as them, but it's like you grinded for that moment, and injuries are part of the game, and you definitely deserve every bit of that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was an awesome experience. I would have just loved to had the blood, sweat, and tears that the other guys that played the games had in the cup run. But at the same time, like, who knows? Maybe I get traded if I'm not injured, like whatnot. So I was just happy to be a part of it at that point, be with some of my best friends and my teammates, and watch all the hard work they put in, and just be supportive and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, for sure. And then you ended up playing for the Devils, had a pretty good season. New Jersey organization, very good organization. Could you tell me a little bit about that experience and playing with guys like Paul Mary and Hall?
Yeah, it was actually I had a pretty good season. Like the points didn't come, but like it was one of those seasons where like my body felt pretty good, even though I was playing with my shoulder like that. I kind of built my body to um be okay with that going on, and the rest of my body was all taken care of. The points didn't come and the team success didn't come, and I was kind of one of the odd men out. You have to make changes when you don't win games, and I understood that. I mean, I there was a little bit of a tiff between who I was as a person and the route they wanted to go in terms of the team, but I mean, I had nothing but awesome experience there. We just weren't very good, so you're gonna
Yeah,
have to change, and which is fine because it's I get it. It's a business. Like you have to take your never. You have to never get too high, never get too low, and that's something I've always taken with me.
for sure. And then you ended up playing in the KHL. How was that like? I don't think I've interviewed anybody who's played there, and I've definitely heard some interesting stories in the past from just watching like NHL Tonight. Was it cool, and was it like worth the journey over there?
Yeah, so I the next year I'd signed with St. Louis. I got sent down to Chicago. Had a great year, but my knees started hurting really bad. I just have some tendon problems with my knees, and I played through it. Just kind of figured out how to maneuver on the ice to still be productive, still be a positive aspect for the team. We had a really good team. We won our division that year, and I love playing in Chicago for the Wolves. And then going into that summer, I had kind of a negative outlook towards hockey just because of how bad my knees were hurting at the time. So I didn't really expect anything. I just started trying to train. I had a bunch of weddings I had to go to. So I was training in between that. And then all of a sudden I got QO'd by St. Louis, but they didn't want to re-sign me, which is fine. Like they knew I was injured at the time. But coming out of that, I kind of had super limited options. So I couldn't really sign anywhere else in the AHL even. So my agent basically said, here's money to go in the KHL. You have to leave basically in like a week. You're missing training camp. At that point, I really hadn't skated going into our preseason, but I got over there. I felt okay on the ice. Bigger ice sheet though, so now my knees are even more of a factor. Um, and I had some aspects of my life outside that I had to come home and take care of, and I ended up just leaving 5 games in to come home. I had to attend a funeral at the time, and then I stayed here because I needed to get my knees fixed, and then I took that year off. Nothing bad to say about Russia. It's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah,
Some people go over there, they have a great time. There's good situations over there. There's good money over there. There's unbelievable hockey players over there. For me at that time, I couldn't make it work with everything I had going on with my body and in the outside world. So I came home to take care of it, and then I took that year off of hockey to try to get all my ducks in line going to the next season.
for sure. Would you say that your knees are like 100% now?
Buddy, my knees are not good. So I so I'll just keep running through my career as we go here. So I signed with Tucson, or yeah, with Coyotes on a two-way. Got surgery on my right knee to clean up some things. Had a great off season because my off season started in about January when I got fully healed from my surgery. Just rehabbed, enjoyed my time with my family and my friends. Everyone was playing hockey at the time, so it was kind of like my first time not doing that since I was 4 years old. So it was awesome to just kind of take a step back and just kind of enjoy regular life while I was still preparing. Wasn't expecting anything going to the next year. ended up signing with the Coyotes, which it was awesome for me. It was close to home. First time I was in a place that was like just a drive for my parents so they can come visit me. Um, got sent down right at the beginning of training camp, and I wanted to build with the Tucson Roadrunners, and being one of the older guys now. I was 28 at the start of last season, and we actually had an unreal team. Kind of had a couple hiccups there, but ended up winning our division, and the season got ended before playoffs. But it was just one of those things where I got thrust into an unreal spot with good AHL players mixed with good young players coming into the organization, and we won a lot of games. So it made my time in Tucson really fun.
Definitely. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Awesome story. And they have awesome uniforms too. I think those
Yeah,
are
they do. They
sick.
really do.
And would you say that the atmosphere and the like arenas there were pretty good compared to like,
Yeah, so like Tucson's awesome because the quality of life when it's always 75 degrees out is like you're just walking around. People are having food on patios. It was just a huge change of pace for me compared to where I played in the past, with the Chicago, the New Jersey, the Pittsburgh, Russia. So it was one of those things that I really enjoyed being on the West Coast. And we had great fans. We were really close to our home team. So when guys got called up, they get called up for a day, maybe get sent down the next day. So it was our team was ever changing, which was fun for us because we were new guys in the locker room, new guys to build relationships with, new guys to win on the ice with. So from an AHL standpoint, it's top notch.
definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to go see a game down there now with
Yes.
me in Arizona and everything. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up then for my career-based questions. I mean, there's so many things on the list that we could go down, but I think we pretty much hit all the main things. And that takes us right into the off-ice stuff, which it's kind of like quick, whatever first thing comes to your mind type of questions. And I'll just start it off. Who is your favorite artist, musical artist?
Uh, Odessa. So, yeah.
You're on a deserted island and you get to bring 3 items. Which items are you bringing?
Deserted island. Does it have cell phone service? Could I
Yes,
probably bring my phone to call someone?
you have Wi-Fi and you have a plug-in, I guess. So
Yeah.
that's the rule. But
Yeah,
you can't take a boat. You can't bring a boat.
I'd probably bring a phone. I would probably bring, what can I live without? I'd probably bring this hat right here just to protect myself a little bit. And I would probably bring a speaker to pass the time so I could play music. Probably not your normal 3 things to bring, but if I'm going to be there alone, I'm going to have some fun.
No, that's solid. I think that's really good. But that leads me into the next question. What celebrity would you bring with you on that island? You get to
What
bring one.
celebrity, what celebrity would I bring with me? If I'm trying to get off, I'm bringing like Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Uh, but if I'm stuck on there, I'm bringing like Will Ferrell or something just to enjoy my time, be stranded, make me laugh, make me pass the time. So
Yeah, that's been 2 names that have been pretty popular throughout it. Yeah, definitely. What is your favorite restaurant and fast food chain if you eat fast food?
fast food is Taco Bell. Um, kind of disappointed that they discontinued the Mexican pizza, but for sure Taco Bell or In and Out, just being a California guy. And then favorite restaurant, um, I mean, you would not know it, but it's this Italian joint back in Hermosa Beach called it's called the Bottle Inn. Just unreal spot. Cheap wine, good food. That's all you need.
Well, that's good to hear. That's why we asked though. So then when I come down there sometime in the future, then I know I'll go there
Bottle Inn. I'm telling you, I won't disappoint.
for sure. I know you've been traveling around the world all your life. If you could live anywhere, where would it be?
Uh, Probably a place I haven't been, Italy. I would love to just go over to Italy. I'm thinking about doing it in the future of just kind of doing like 6 months over there, see everything, just kind of get out of the real world a little bit, maybe turn off my phone for a month or two and just kind of immerse yourself in a different culture. I've seen everything in America, and like I like my different spots, but I definitely don't like staying in one place for too long. But I think Italy is somewhere that I've always really liked, been interested in, and I love my wine, so it'd be a good spot for me.
Definitely, totally agree with seeing new cultures and stuff. I haven't even been out of the country yet, so definitely a goal of mine as well. But all right, next one. What is your favorite food? Kind of similar restaurant, but
Favorite food? Probably I make steak tacos that I like. Whenever I have buddies in town or friends that I've cooked for, I just make tacos that I love. Like that's my favorite food that I'll cook whenever I need. When I have 3 days set aside, I know I'm going to have leftovers. I'll just make tacos and have them 3 nights in a row. That's my comfort food for sure.
have you been making them like since you were little, or was it something that you kind of like
It's what my
started?
parents did. We usually did. We grew up just doing like tacos on Tuesday because my mom was always cooking for us. I don't know how she did it with 4 kids and 4 different hockey schedules, but there was always food on the table. On Tuesdays, we do ground beef tacos, and it kind of developed into all right, we're sick of ground beef. Let's do like tri-tip tacos, and then now it's like flank steak tacos. So now I kind of have my own way of doing it. My parents have their own way of doing it, so it's a good little mix whenever we get together.
Yeah, for sure. You can never go wrong with tacos, in my
Yeah.
opinion. You could eat that every night. But yeah. Do you have a favorite goal from your career?
Favorite goal for my career? It's got to be that first playoff goal, most memorable.
Style.
Um, yeah, versus the Islanders. I mean, I remember that one more than anyone. I don't have many, but I remember my first goal. I don't even remember scoring on the ice. It was such like a blur. It was a 5-on-3. I'm out there with guys like Sid, Neil, Cooney, Latang. I'm like, holy shnikes, like how am I even out here? I think Gino was hurt at the time, so I just kind of lucked my way into that one. But it was a great opportunity for me, and I don't even remember it. I just remember like that whole thing was a blur. So I wouldn't even say that's memorable. So I'll go with the Islanders goal.
Definitely. And do you have a go-to celly from your career?
Uh, Not really. I mean in the AHL when I got a little more confidence where I didn't really care what people thought about me from the outside, I would just go straight controller disconnected, hands up for like a whole zone, and people would be like, "What's wrong with this guy?" And I would literally just not move. Or like I mean I do get excited when I get excited when anyone scores on our team. Like I do love winning. It makes life fun once you leave the rink. So I mean my celebrations on the bench were just as gnarly as when I'd score a goal. So it was uh, I whenever I scored, it was probably a little bit less than when other people scored.
Definitely. And do you play any video games by chance?
I don't. I never played any sports games. I played like Guitar Hero and like DDR growing up, Dance Dance Revolution, and then it transferred into I got a little older, played a little bit of COD once I turned pro, and when I was in college, just because of how much time you have in your hands. Played Fortnite when it was a little bit popular, and then just over the last year and a half, like I'm just not good enough to like keep up, and it just like kind of like why am I giving myself anxiety? So I
Yeah.
just kind of stay away from it.
Exactly. Well, you got to play like all the time in order to be good. And if
Yeah,
you're living in Cali, it's like there's a million other things I could be doing right now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, are you a sneakerhead by chance? Like, are you big into shoes?
I am not. I have one pair of shoes that I wear every day. I just washed them so I can wear them out tonight. I don't really. I like wearing different T-shirts, kind of like off the cusp T-shirts that are like I just bought a Taco Bell T-shirt or like a Coca-Cola T-shirt. I just bought a Ratatouille T-shirt. Just kind of like things that like people are like, all right, why is that kid wearing that? But my style is pretty bad, so I keep it pretty simple, and Yeah, sneakers is not my thing.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's whatever you think is good. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's simple, it's simplistic, but I never have to really think about what I'm gonna wear. I just put on the same. I have 3 pairs of shorts and a bunch of random t-shirts, so it's pretty easy. Makes
exactly.
my life easy.
Well, yeah, you can chirp whoever's chirping you for your style. Be like, well, how much you spend on all that stuff? It's like I got the money in my pockets now.
Yeah, seriously, honestly, and honestly, people know me for my what I wear, kind of like, oh, Bo's in his white shirt and his camo shorts again. Like it's like the same. It's like their life's on repeat when they see me. But at least I've always taken that factor out of my life because I grew up going to private school and we always had uniforms. So kind of just I didn't really think about it. I just kind of put on the same thing every day and let my personality do the talking, or hopefully
Yeah,
do the talking.
exactly. Well, yeah, that's what I've noticed with like buying like the expensive stuff. It doesn't make people look at you any differently, in my opinion. It's like, well, it's I don't know, such.
Yeah, I mean, if they're a person's wearing cool stuff, but it's a crappy person, it's like, all right, you're
Yeah,
still crappy no matter what you wear.
exactly. And it's like, what are you gonna say? You're gonna say, oh, that's a cool shirt, but then like they paid their whole like month's paycheck for the whole outfit. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
not
well,
worth it.
yeah, exactly. But all right. Oh, I was gonna ask you, who do you think has the best unis in the NHL?
The best unis in the NHL, I mean, I love the Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm a little bit biased from the Pittsburgh, and
Yeah,
I'm also biased. The retro Kings, I think, are like elite. The purple and golds are. I grew up. That was my youth jersey for the Junior Kings. My 16 and 17-year-old year was those purple and golds, and I think those are just like they're so different, but they look so clean that I think those are pretty awesome.
for sure. Yeah, no, I think I did like a ranking of them, and everybody who follows like the pod and stuff said that that was a for sure number one. Like you
Yeah.
can't even argue it.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. The Wild got some pretty cool ones too, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, whoever's creating these are doing a good job because at least it's a little bit new. It's a little bit more fun. Like the Pittsburgh thirds are sick. The ones that just say Pittsburgh
Oh
across,
yeah,
they're doing a good job keeping fans engaged and wanting to buy more. So I'm sure they're doing great revenue wise.
definitely. Well, yeah, I think I ordered like two or three, so they're getting at my bank account, but
Yeah,
they're
seriously.
doing the right thing. But yeah, for sure. I was gonna ask you, I mean, you might be a little biased to it, but you get to pick Sid or McDavid. Who are you choosing to be on your team?
Well, honestly, if you're doing Sid at the same age as McDavid, I'd do Sid. I mean, because you're getting him for the same amount of time, and I'm biased. I like he's an awesome guy. He's a great
Yeah,
captain. Not taking anything away from McDavid, but I think because McDavid's so good, people forget how good Sid was from those years on too. Like he's
definitely.
a, he is definitely the new guy, the new up and coming stud, like him, McKinnon. Like these guys are insanely good. But I think it just kind of people forget how good Sid was and still is. Like Sid's 33, maybe 34 or whatever he is, and he's still. I don't think he's had one season below a point per game. Um, it just goes to show you like his like he got injured in the prime of his career too, and he missed out on probably another 200 points there. He would be up to almost like 1,400 points right now. So it's it's a loaded question because times are changing. It's like saying, oh, Wayne, Sid, or McDavid. Like they're all different. They're all the best of their generations. So it's hard to compare. I'd take McDavid right now, but uh, if Connor was on the come up in 2005, 2006, I'd take Sid.
Yeah, no, definitely. I totally agree with that. And that question has been brought up for like a while now on the podcast. And I've been like hearing different answers because yeah, I should have phrased it the way that you said it. That's how I've been phrasing it, like prime Crosby or current McDavid. But yeah, it's so difficult because they're not playing at the same time to like
Yeah.
choose. Yeah, definitely. Well, that takes us to our trivia. and ends the off ice questions. And like I said, I kind of explained it to you a little bit at the start, but you're going to have a minute to answer a bunch of random questions. And after you're done, put you into a standing, see how you did with all the other people. I'll kind of try to make it like a competition. Want more people to come on and be like, oh, I'm going to beat Beau's score. He's the champion, stuff like that.
I will not be the champion. I'll be middle of the pack.
I'm sure you'll do fine. I tried to make it. There's some questions related to you, so
okay. Hopefully I know those ones.
I'll get my timer out. And are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. What is the name of Plankton's restaurant in SpongeBob?
The Chum Bucket.
What's the baby's name in Family Guy?
Stewie.
How many points did you have for the Penticton V's?
120 in regular season, 14 in playoff.
Which artist made the song As Long As You Love Me?
Justin Bieber.
Who's the current captain for the St. Louis Blues?
Ryan O'Reilly.
What's the capital of California?
Sacramento.
What's the Penguins mascot's name?
Pass.
What's the New Jersey Devils stadium called?
Prudential Center.
What's the tallest building in the world?
Freedom Tower.
Name a frozen pizza company.
Red Baron.
Who won the 2012 Stanley Cup?
The Kings.
Who's the CEO of Facebook?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Name a player on the LA Dodgers.
Mookie Betts.
All right. I think that was pretty solid.
What is the Penguin's name?
I think it is Iceberg.
Iceberg. I was gonna say Pennsburg. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh shoot!
I missed one. I'm pretty sure, and then I didn't know the Freedom Tower. I don't know what the tallest building is.
It's like the Burj Khalifa or something Khalifa or something.
Is it in Dubai or something?
Yeah, in Dubai.
Yeah.
I gotta have a tricky one because it's so hard. For how many we did in the past where there's so many questions that have already been asked, or people like argue. They're like, oh, you gave Beau easy questions, but you gave Johnny whatever and he got 20 or something. I don't think anybody's gotten 20. I forget, the record might be 15, but oh yeah, I forgot there's a bonus question at the end and it's worth 2 points. Tomorrow's game 3, the Avalanche or the Knights, who's gonna win?
The Avalanche are gonna win. The Avalanche are gonna win 4-2.
4-2. If you get it right, if you get the score right, I don't think we've had anybody guess the score right. That'll be 5 points added to the score. 5 points added. So basically an automatic champion if you get the score right. That would be pretty.
I like that. Perfect.
Awesome. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. And I kind of like to ask the guests after every podcast if you could do like, this is Beau Bennett and you're listening to Brody Talks Hockey or something like that. If you could just give me a little something like that.
All right. This is Beau Bennett. Thanks for listening to Brody Talks Hockey.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Beau, for your time. It means a lot. I hope you had a fun time. I had a great time.
Yeah, no, that was awesome, buddy. Thanks for having me on. If you ever want me to come back on, I'd be happy to do that. Tell you a little bit more about what I got going on now, life outside of hockey. So, and then we can make some more picks.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll make sure to definitely have you back on down the road. I'm going to keep grinding it out, keep trying to get guests on, but always going to have your name on the back of my mind. Thank you again so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your night, man.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks. You have a great night too.
Peace out, Beau.